38 kilometers where I'm gonna test everything, starting from the fueling strategy, the mountain gels, the best on the market to be honest, a lot of them. One gel every 4 kilometers for a total of 150 grams of carbs per hour. I can't test the full outfit I will use for the marathon because Zurich is still too cold versus the weather I will have in Milan. 38 kilometers. For the shoes, I've decided to use the Adidas Adios Pro 4. Maybe they're not as fast as the Nike Vaporfly 3 I used in the last marathon, but they are much more comfortable. Exactly what I was looking for. 38 kilometers are divided into 4 sections. The first 13 kilometers at 4 minutes and 25 seconds per kilometer pace. Then 12 kilometers at 4 minutes and 5 seconds per kilometer pace. 10 kilometers at 3 minutes and 55 seconds per kilometer pace. And the final 3 kilometers at 3 minutes and 50 seconds per kilometer pace. My goal is to run a sub 250 marathon. To do so, I'm aiming at an average pace between 3:55 and 4 minutes per kilometer. Today's training will make me run at the 3:55 marathon pace with already 25 kilometers in my legs. The idea is to simulate the stress and the intensity I will be facing in the second part of the race without overloading my body and my legs too much. If I were to run at 3:55 from the beginning, it will be essentially the same effort as a marathon day, and probably I won't be able to recover in time and to be fresh for the 6th of April. I will try to focus a lot on my running form as well. 180 plus cadence, short stride, land with midfoot, be as efficient as I can be, save energy. Dynamic stretching for me is critical. I do these exercises before every run, and of course they will be the same exercises on marathon day. Nothing is improvised. Everything is tested before, multiple times. Let's go!
First segment done. Now we open the gas. Let's go. Second segment done. Just about 4 minutes per kilometer. I feel great. Now, marathon pace. Let's go. 38 kilometers. Check. Went well. In fact, really in control in the first segment. 4 minutes and 23 seconds per kilometer. 148 beats per minute. And 402, second segment. 160 beats per minute. I felt in control also in the second bouts. Then I started running at my target marathon pace, 3:55. I had a challenging phase between kilometer 29 and kilometer 32. I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling tired, a challenging moment, but I was able to get out of that. And after the 32, I felt good again. All in all, I'm happy. Well executed, but if I have to be honest, versus the 36 kilometers that I did
Calm, Fabio. Wait a minute. You just need to answer 2 simple questions. Did it go well or not? Am I ready for the sub 250 marathon or not? Let's figure it out by analyzing my data and my feelings. On paper and on Strava, I did exactly what I was supposed to do, but something didn't resonate 100% with me in the way I didn't manage this training versus what I did 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before, on the 2nd of March, I did one of the best runs of my life. 36 kilometers, the first true marathon test, and I could have gone forever. I could actually have probably run a sub 250 marathon that day. So that's how I was feeling great there. Now, if I use that as a benchmark, I noticed a couple of things that didn't go so well in the 38 kilometers that I did now. First, I think that the heart rate speaks for itself. Have a look at the comparison. 2nd of March, the first 10 kilometers, 4 minutes and 13 seconds per kilometer pace, average heart rate 146 beats per minute, versus the one on the 16th, 10 seconds per kilometer slower, 2 beats per minute higher. And this slightly higher beats per minute continued for the entire training. Second bout 158 versus 160. Third bout 167 versus 164. And the last bout 169 beats per minute versus 166, with double the distance for the last bout in the previous training. I love when data and feelings match perfectly. And this is true for this training. I mean, my feeling that I was a bit tired is reflected perfectly in the heart rate if I compare that to my previous long run. And don't get me wrong, I'm not paranoid, I'm not super worried about that, but it's something that you need to consider and you need to understand why it's happening. And after speaking to my coach, Andrea Gornati, we realized that there are two reasons why this happened. The first one, life. In the last couple of weeks, I got a new role at my job, an expanded role, so more things to do, a lot of things to build from scratch, and this is adding some stress on my mind and also on my sleep. Secondly, being tired in this training was made on purpose. And what I mean by that is my training program was designed to have really 2 intense weeks up to this training on the 16th of March in order to get me in a state where I had to run for a long distance with a lot of volume and intensity already on my legs. And I might say kudos to my coach Andrea, because he decided to put me in a stress situation in order to feel the stress and to manage it. And it was good that I had a crisis between the kilometer 28 and 32, because it's something that you maybe will experience during the race, and you need to be prepared for that. Him putting me in this stress situation and having that kind of crisis, and me being able really to manage that crisis by focusing on my running technique, focusing on high frequency of steps and my running form, helped me to get through that crisis. And he was super happy, I was super happy about ultimately the result. So even though this training didn't go well as the previous one, again, it was by design. But the good thing to read about this training is that I managed sort of crisis properly. I came through and I was able even to finish strong. I accelerated and I sprinted even the last 500 meters. This is why it's so important to read your trainings properly. It's not just about absolute value. Was I fast? Was I slow? It's also putting everything in context about your life, but also about your training program and what is the purpose of that training. Back to my previous questions. Did it go well or not? Yes. It went well, especially in how I managed the stress and the struggle during the training. Am I ready for the sub 250 marathon or not? Well, let me say that up to this point I did everything that I had to do in order to get ready and to make it happen. But you always need to be respectful of the marathon and the race. Running a marathon is always a journey into the unknown, and a race, the emotions, the tension is totally different from any other training you could do. Now I need to focus on my recovery in order to get ready for prime time. Let's go!